Minutes from Ocean City, designed by the legendary Robert Trent Jones. Rediscover how golf was meant to be played. Rediscover Ocean Pines Golf and Country Club.
Welcome to our first edition of Talking the Pines. You're here with your general manager, Bob Thompson. That's me.
And I'm Tom Terry, president of the board.
What we're trying to do is find better ways to communicate to the community. And we thought by getting together following each board meeting, we could share directly with you folks the information that was not only talked about during the board meeting, but some thoughts about it following, after the board meeting has occurred. So we thought we'd bring it to you directly, hearing it directly from us.
All right, and from time to time we will bring people in to interview and let them bring you up to speed on things that are going on with their clubs and their activities in the Pines as well.
So if I can jump in, let's talk about one of the hot issues right now, and that's outsourcing, or as we like to call it, the management contract, an outside management services contract for two of our major facilities. We're looking at doing that with the golf as well as food and beverage. We're going to talk a little bit about our lengthy, probably our longest meeting, and it was your first, so I've got to tell you, we had agreed 2 hours or less, and you took us to 5.
We took you to 5 hours. It was
yes.
A very energetic session with a lot of discussion. And we made progress towards the assessment of whether we will be doing outsourcing or not. One of the things we needed to do, as you know, Bob, was to assess companies that might be a partner of ours, to bring management support in here to help our team. But in order to do that, we had a full-blown study done by a volunteer group that did a fabulous job of assessing what became 2 companies. They made a presentation yesterday, and the board voted to accept their report and to say that should we go to outsourcing, we will use that company as the outsourcing company. And the word outsourcing is something I think we need to talk about.
Gotcha.
Because the phrase outsourcing can mean you're bringing in a company and you're going to put them at arm's length from your management. And they basically run it on their own and they let you know how things went. That is certainly not the model here that we would accept in Ocean Pines. If we move to outsourcing, at least in my opinion, that company would be supplying management support and systems to Ocean Pines that would report directly to you, Bob, and would be under your control. If we can't get that kind of relationship with a company, then I don't think we're going to end up going that direction, but we don't know. We also had a vote to move on to outsourcing totally, just to move forward, and that did not happen. We went forth to the next step. Is for us to complete the assessment in the outsourcing arena, is to say, do we use our own staff that we have here, kind of a steady state, and simply educate and move on? Do we bring in and hire our own people directly as employees of Ocean Pines and assess that aspect of the next steps compared to what we agreed to yesterday would be our step if we went to outsourcing.
Right.
So we have not outsourced, but we are clearly moving forward with the full assessment of where we are.
A couple points through that process yesterday that maybe you can talk a little further about. As an example, the task force team that was put together, you had thrown out a number of over $1 million of work. I thought that was pretty astonishing, but your background
yes.
lends itself to say why that's happening. Maybe you could share that so everybody understands
yes.
where that figure came from.
Our volunteers that did this were superior professionals in their careers. One of them had been a partner in a national accounting firm. One of them was a president of a steel company. Another one owned his own company that had multiple locations. So we had good business people doing the assessment and doing field trips and interviews of people and multiple meetings. If you had hired a consulting firm to do that, each one of those hours that they spent would have been a billable hour.
Right.
Their report would, and the document would have been billable. It would have taken at least $1 million to pay for all of the time and the energy and the resources and the talent that these folks brought to that study. So I myself am very comfortable with, and I believe the whole board was praising, the report itself, and I'm very comfortable with where we went in picking Casper as being our partner if we move forward in that direction.
Gotcha. Now the other question that came up, which I think is pertinent, is we've tried outsourcing before. We've had several companies come in specifically with the yacht club. The most known, I guess, would be Marriott Corporation.
Right.
And this was some years ago, but we talked about that at length yesterday, and the fact that it didn't turn out as favorable as we hoped it would, and some of the reasons behind it. What makes you think that this would be good strategy now? I mean, I have my opinion, but I'd like to, you know, maybe we can share it here so other folks that weren't at the meeting could pick up on it.
Right. Well, if you're asking me as an individual board member, I have the same questions when it comes to food and beverage. I'm not sure what the difference would be, except, as you know, I have been a big proponent of having this organization report into you so that we maintain control and they're not at an arm's length where they're just doing whatever they want to do.
Sure.
That doesn't mean we don't want their expertise and we don't want their talent, but at the same time they need to work under our guidance and our direction, as opposed to a pure outsourcing relationship. So it's a bit of a hybrid that I think we have to create. Although I was not here when Marriott was here, I've gone through outsourcing relationships before, and the further away they are from your own management, the more likely it is to fail.
Well, and that came up yesterday from the audience, as you know, what would we do differently and how do we see it differently? And as I try to explain what my role would be, giving the input that you just shared with us, from a standpoint of, and we're nowhere near the scale of GE, but using them as an example, they have divisions all over the U.S. as well as overseas. I see our golf strategy, our food and beverage strategy as different divisions or lines of business under the same umbrella. It would be my role as the general manager to make sure that everything coexists with the same branding, the same level of output to our residents, that they're improving the bottom line for us. Not necessarily telling them, and it came up yesterday, what the menu would be or what the rounds of golf would cost. That's not what the goal with an outsourcing strategy. We're bringing expertise that we don't currently have in-house from folks that are much stronger and, quite frankly, have been doing it for years, that can offer that expertise and make us better at what we do, therefore improving the bottom line for the association. And big picture is representing all of us in a way that helps improve property values, makes Ocean Pines a better place to live, and quite frankly, just a better experience living here.
Right. One other topic that came up yesterday was the IRS situation, and why don't you bring the folks up to speed on where we are with that?
Well, I smile.
That good news that we got from the IRS.
Well, I smile a little bit, and I think they say that's a nervous smile when that comes up. Although it wasn't my decision, initially from the 2002, 2003 from the accounting, I guess I've inherited it. Now, the upside is, as you and I were talking before we got started, the fact that we inherit it means we're not necessarily held personally responsible for it, at least until for the next term.
We own the solution if we can find one.
Okay, so with that being said, and a more serious factor, we technically, the ruling went against us from the IRS tax court, which is telling us that we are subject to certain type of taxes on the revenue that was generated between 2002 2003 with our beach property. That's the parking lot there at the beach. And it's not the secret side, which I've had a lot of calls about. Right. It's actually the side that our residents basically pay a fee to use. So we have 300 parking spots on the ocean side, and that's the part in question. The number that escalates up to, we've heard, $700,000 to $1 million. That's actually derived from, if we move forward with those accounting procedures and apply that ruling to each year thereafter, we could then be held responsible for those. Now, as you know, our counsel, which I want to add because it's come up a number of times when we've talked about, is not Joe Moore. Joe Moore represents us in a lot of other areas. His firm's not representing us. We have a firm out of Baltimore, and it's a firm that specializes in tax law, and they're representing us for this particular issue. And talking with them, their recommendation to us is, moving forward with to the Fourth Circuit Court for the appeal process.
Right. Yeah, and the board is gathering this information, and will be meeting to discuss in open session just what the next steps ought to be in appealing the tax court. We may do that. We may not. I'm assuming we will to move forward and fight that. But I just want folks to know that we do have a period of time, another 50, 60 days, in which we can notify the court that we are going to be appealing the case. So we have some time to truly assess where we are, what the numbers will be, and the impact on Ocean Pines.
Sure.
Let's move on to some other news around the neighborhood. I understand we've got some things out at the swim and racket court that are going up.
And great point. We had some of the things that are happening out there. As everyone should know, that we redid the pool deck this year with the concrete, and it all looks great. There's some minor touch-up work that needs to be done, and Harkins, great contractor, they're coming back. They're already starting that work. So we're real excited because it looks great now. The wrapping around the outside, which is up against the piers and the walkways where we put all that in, we've decided instead of doing with the grass that we're going to replant in that 8-foot section, we're going to do a river rock, which is a lot easier to clean, and quite frankly, it's just going to be a nicer layout for us. And then, interestingly enough, if you travel around to the gazebo area out there, which has been underutilized, and it is one of the best views that we have here other than the yacht club if you want to look out over the water, and it's underutilized. The Public Works Department has done a great job. We had some bird issues, nesting, and they weren't really nesting at the time, but they're just in and out all day long, so the droppings and everything else. So we've put bird netting up, to prevent that, and we've put some more picnic tables. So that whole area has had dramatic improvement in the last 2 or 3 months, and I have to say under budget. So the river rock, everything else, so all positive. So if folks haven't been out to see that, ought to get out and use. We're hoping that once we recognize it's there, people start to come out and use it. Book the gazebo, for a family event or for your next barbecue, because it's really, really underutilized, like many parts of the community.
Well, I'm really glad that you and the Public Works group have identified that gazebo as an uninviting location at that point, and you guys addressed it, and we now have cleaned up another part of Ocean Pines, and I'm sure we will continue to do that. One of the things I'd like to share is my experience I had last weekend, which was the health fair that was held in our community center. I came by the health fair, and it was a huge success. The folks who have put those on in other regions have told me we had the largest turnout that they've had of any of those in the region in near term. Sure. Very successful event. A broad range of healthcare information was available. I ended up with a doctor's visit out of it, but it was worth it. I would recommend everyone take advantage of that. I'm assuming we will do that again. I want to applaud the communications committee, the advisory committee that helped lead that, and everyone who worked on pulling that together, AGH, and I'm sure I'm leaving some people out, but don't mean to. I was just a participant in it, so I applaud their work, and I hope we can see that kind of activity again. It just shows how vital and alive our community really is.
Well, and that was one of the things. Ron Fisher's our chair on that committee. It's one of the things we're trying to find ways to expand and to get out in front of the community a little more, as opposed to just reacting. And they've done a fantastic job, as you said. Some of the other things that we're looking at moving forward, as an example, in our community center, would be a home and garden show at the end of April. Right. We're real excited about that opportunity, where we're going to bring vendors and different people in that can help support either rehabs or countertops or floor covering, the types of things that you'd either have to go to Ocean City or Salisbury for. We're going to bring right here in our community for everyone to take advantage of. So we're trying to find better ways and more activities that we can present to the community on an ongoing basis. So that'll be our big spring event.
Good. Well, as far as continuing the communications of what we're trying to enhance here in this program, is also the e-blast program that's out there from the community, from OPA. I recommend everyone sign up for that. It is a new and advanced way for us to stay in touch with you and keep you informed. We will not bury you with emails daily, but we do want to take advantage of being able to reach out to you at a moment's notice and not wait for printed materials to have to come out. We also decided yesterday that we're going to announce all of the board meetings and publish the agendas on e-blasts, so that everyone knows exactly what's going on at our board level.
Sure, and that's, quite frankly, some of the areas that we've had some concern about is how are we communicating? And that's a real big push that we've been talking about, is how do we continually communicate in an effective way? Not just communicate, but do it effectively. eBlast is a big part of it. You're also going to notice we recently did a public service announcement with Chief Massey, and it was following an event where we had people, quite frankly, leaving their cars unlocked, and things were being taken out of it. Immediately after that, as a matter of fact, in a day or so, we decided it was important to get the information out. We did it in a PSA. So we're trying to find ways to communicate to everyone as effectively as possible. And I'm going to ask, you know, when you're viewing this and you're thinking about it, either give us a call, shoot us an email, be part of the organization. Jump in, you know, with the eBlast, because we can't communicate if you don't tell us the best ways to reach you. And I know not everyone has a computer, so we do still send it out to the news media. Not everyone, you know, it's not cover page when we're having a board meeting, and I'm not sure it should be, despite how some people felt yesterday, you know, in our meeting. But we will continue to try to do better with communication, and I think we've made some significant improvements. I'm excited about where we are now.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this, to us continuing this activity, and I would welcome your feedback on what else you'd like to see us talk about and some of the folks you'd like to see us interview. Well, Bob, is there anything you'd like to add as we wrap this up?
Well, the other thing that happened this month, which was pretty exciting, was the golf course opening of our new driving range.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of activity. It was well attended. Applaud the folks that did the work, and Harlan and his crew for having it all set up. Big event, and it was a good time had by all, and we're getting excuse me, rave reviews about, you know, the driving range itself. And
it's a beautiful facility.
It really is. How about we send folks out to, we've got some footage from the recent events, both the health fair and the golf. Mm-hmm. Why don't we wrap this up with shooting it out there so folks can take a look at what happened around the community this month.
Okay, so take a look at this footage, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, my name is Teresa Travatello, and I'm the Marketing Public Relations Director for the Ocean Pines Association. Today we're at the Atlantic General sponsored health fair held at Ocean Pines and coordinated by the Ocean Pines Communications Advisory Committee. Don Claggett is our guest host inside. Let's go take a look.
Hi, I'm Don Claggett, and I'm with the Ocean Pines Communications Advisory Committee, and we're here today at the health fair, and I have a couple of folks that would like to say a few words about what's going on at the health fair. I have Ron Fisher, and we have Laura Small. Laura's with the Atlantic General Hospital, and Ron is the chairman of the Communications Advisory Committee. Ron?
Thanks, Don. I just want to extend a sincere thank you to everyone who participated in the health fair today. It was a great success. I know we had hundreds of people that came through here, and particularly I want to thank Atlantic General Hospital for the wonderful job that they did with the screening. Laura, I'd like to have you say a few things about your program.
Okay. Thank you, Ron. We are very appreciative for being able to provide the services that we did today, and it couldn't have happened without Ocean Pines and the group of people that we have worked with diligently.
I'd like to introduce Joyce Wingate.
Hi, we have a new service at Atlantic General. It's a cancer care center where we do infusions. We have a new oncologist, Dr. Jessica Lee. We do this because we want to bring cancer care to our community so that our patients in this community do not have to travel far for cancer care.
We have over here the lab technicians from Atlantic General who have been kind enough to assist in drawing blood and doing various blood tests for some of the folks who came. We have here Virginia Wharton, and Virginia has been drawing blood. She drew my blood for a test, and she did a great job. Do you have anything to say? What kind of good day has it been?
It's been a wonderful day. We had a nice turnout and no fainters, thank God. So it's been a really good day.
Just found the coordinator for the AGH Retired Nurses Association. Joyce.
Thank you. It's part of the volunteer organization at AGH Hospital has a retired nurse division, and I am the coordinator. To be a retired nurse volunteer, you have to have held at some point in time a registered professional license. It can be inactive, but we help and assist at the hospital at a different level of care where we're helping the nurse do some of the things that she can't do. In other words, sit and talk to the patient, take patients to x-rays. Some of us can get injections. We do chart reviews, quality control. So in all areas of the hospital, there is a place for a retired nurse.
Okay, well, Reiki is a Japanese healing art that generally promotes relaxation, it decreases anxiety, and in many cases, people report pain relief. And a session consists of the person laying on a massage table or sitting in a chair like this. We do various hand positions around the body. And basically, we are just offering a connection of relaxation and encouraging balance for the body.
Hi, we're at the grand opening of the Ocean Pines Golf and Country Club driving range. I'm talking with Harlan Goldman, the Director of Golf. What's going on over here today, Harlan?
Well, today's the culmination of efforts from many, many months of hard work to fix some bad drainage issues we've been experiencing over the years. We enlarged our teeing area to accommodate the more play that we've been having. We've created some hitting areas, some target greens, if you will, out there that didn't exist before. And today we're just celebrating the first real official day of our brand new driving range.
Wow, it looks fabulous.
Thank you.
Quite a turnout out here. And what do you got lined up for us today?
Well, we've got a bunch of different things. Bob Alfelder's here from Mikey Golf. He's going to be demonstrating some new clubs, and he's going to let you try those out. We have a chipping contest where one can take a couple free swings to chip at 50 yards away, and you will win a free round of golf if you can do that. A little later on, we have Bone Daddies from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. They're going to play some good rock music for us to enjoy it. We have Smooth Jazz here emceeing the event with some prizes and giveaways. And we also have a putting contest. If putting's your game, we've got a small putting contest. If you can sink one, you can win a free round of golf also. Today, the 18th of September, I officially declare the driving range at Ocean Pines Country Club open to everybody. Here we go.
Our ceremonial first shots will be by Jim and Laura.
How about 2, 1.
Game on, everyone. Hot dogs, sodas.
All right, I'm talking here with Chuck Coate. Chuck, tell us about the range. I saw you hitting a few off of there. Look pretty good.
Yeah, it's really a nice concept. One of the things that the one I had in the one lesson was that if I ever go to a pro and he doesn't give me a target, that I've got the wrong pro. So here we've got targets now, where before we just had signs to hit at. I like it. It's going to be a lot more fun. I like the way the sign changes the yardages if they move back and forth. You know, it's really nice. It helps out new players like me who don't really know what they're doing, but want to have an idea that what am I doing now, and this really helps.
That's a very positive point on this point. Very positive. There you have it. 2 great events held here today in Ocean Pines. For more information about events, ongoings, calendar happenings, and more, log on to our website, www.oceanpines.org, and get involved and get out there and have fun today.